Hey everybody, I just want to do a quick video on Actively Learn. Actively Learn is a digital curriculum platform that offers us full access to articles, nonfiction and fiction texts, and full novels. It's mainly geared toward ELA, social studies, and science, but there are articles that would be helpful in any subject. The district has purchased the full version of this for us this year. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So we are going to access Actively Learn through Clever. This is how the kids access their Canvas accounts now, so it'll be easy for them to get to. You can use either your Active Directory or your Google login. I always use my Active Directory. It's just set in there. And then we have added it to every student's Clever account. For them, it's going to be under Classroom Resources, so they'll have a little icon right here. If they click the little heart on it, it will move it up to their favorites for them, so it's easy to find. So when I click on Actively Learn, it's going to take me straight to the website. It's a single sign-on, so it'll take you directly there. When you go for the first time, it will have you answer a few questions on your classes. It asks you to set up a class. It takes you through a little tutorial, which is helpful. All of this takes less than a couple of minutes, and it is helpful. And as far as setting up your classes, you can just kind of set up one and go do the rest later. So this is your content screen. And this is where we can kind of see the newest articles that it's added, popular high school assignments. October is Hispanic Heritage Month, so we have Hispanic Heritage and Literature, popular text sets. I'll go into those in just a minute. They're very helpful. Up here, it's so easy to set up your classes. You just click on the Add New Class, the little plus sign right here. And then you can actually import your sections from Clever. I don't have any classes to import, but when you click on it, it will take you to your classes. It will ask you which classes you want to add. And then as the kids log in, it will automatically populate their names in there for you. So then up here we have our different content areas that we can go into. So this is just your general workspace area. We have curriculum units that we can look at. So for example, if we look at the 12th grade ELA, it has thematic units. So unit 1 is identity. If you click on it, it tells you all of the texts they have that deal with identity. And so Two Kinds by Amy Tan. We can click on there. And this is what I really like about Actively Learn is it teaches the kids to read closely digitally. So this is the same thing that we go over in class with them. They learn how to answer questions. They do pre-reading. They do active reading as they read or as they go through the text. But here, for example, at the beginning, it asks them a question. It's a poll question, so they can't get it wrong. How often do your parents and guardians want you to do something that you don't want to do? Probably they're going to say all the time. And then it gives you ideas for teaching this text. And then as they read, they can click on it and it gives them little information out here. The narrator is indicating her mom's idealistic attitude toward America. It gives them vocabulary that they can learn. Let's see. It tells them a little bit like Shirley Temple right here was a child star who was famous for singing, dancing, and acting. So as you go through, and it will have questions for them to answer as well. This one, it gives you the answer. It doesn't give them the answer when you look at it in student view. Ask them question 3. It tells you the depth of knowledge level that it's at. It tells you the aligned standards that you have right here. So if you're keeping track of that, trying to hit your standards every quarter. And then if you decide that you want to add something to it, you can click the customize button, or maybe you want to take out a question. So if you don't want the poll question, for example, you can hit delete. Or if you wanted to maybe add a question in here, you can highlight it and you can insert a question. You can insert a note about it. You can insert a link. So for example, if you're teaching something like Frankenstein, The Wizard of Oz, and you want them to see the movie clip from it, you can do that as well and just insert the link. You can also take out a section. So maybe there's something questionable that you don't necessarily want to deal with right now, or a word or two. Then you can take that out. Okay, and then it does not let them see it. You are the only one who can restore that white out part. So that part is nice. Let's see, let's go back. So those are the curriculum units. You can also just come up here and just search, for example, novels. Right, so it's going to pull up all of your novels, texts, and videos. And so the nice thing is it doesn't just have classics. There are a lot of different websites that offer us classics for free. This offers newer novels as well. So you could go ahead and assign lit circles with different novels, just have the kids read specific ones. You could share the specific link so that only those kids are going to do that. For example, those 5 might do Fallout by Ellen Hopkins. Another 5 might do Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. So there are newer novels as well. So we have, for example, A Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. So if we click on that, it's going to let us add our own directions for students. It will let us add extra help for summary. And then it lets us add our own questions. And so, for example, if it's a multiple choice question, short answer, there are poll questions, it can grade them for you if you assign them as a quiz or as an assignment. It can grade those for you, and then you can look at the data. Some of them already have the units built in for us. So let's look at Frankenstein. So if we look at Frankenstein, it already has our essential question. So it tells us what our assignment directions are. It gives us information. So the green would be people and events. People and events. We have right here, we have key terms and tone. We have, he is describing the interesting things about the North Pole, meaning and evidence. So it kind of breaks it down for us. And again, it teaches them to read actively. It's hitting all of those parts of reading actively. And so poll question number 1 is the story of Frankenstein about the doctor or the monster. Most kids, before they start it, probably think it's about the monster. So we just have different areas where it's going to give them support over in the margins. And then in the student version, they can also click on words and it'll say the words for them. It'll pronounce it. They can click on any word in the text and it will define it for them. So there are a lot of different things that they can see in the student version. So then you just go up here to assign. You can either do the entire text or you can choose specific sections. So for example, if you just wanted them to read the first 5 chapters, you could assign the first 5 chapters on the first night, the next 5 on the next night, etc. I'm just going to go ahead and do the entire text. My class's name is Sandbox, so then I'm just going to go ahead and assign. And then there you go, it's been assigned. I can also just, if I want to click on here, and it will take them directly, the link will take them directly to the assignment as well. All right, so that is the great thing about novels. We also have, under here, we have text sets. So if you're going to be doing, for example, The Hate You Give, and we want to do some support text to go with it, then we have some nonfiction. So we have our main text is The Hate You Give. This will help us to build our own little unit. And then we have nonfiction. We can add as many of these assignments as we want to. So if we add The Hate You Give as our main text, and then we just assign. And then I can go ahead and choose maybe one nonfiction text to add to it. I can add one short story. Let's do Thank You, Ma'am. And then etc. We can just keep on adding poetry, videos, and then have them watch them in a specific order that we can set up kind of in our Canvas class, or we can just that's what we can go over with them on our live sessions, is what should they be reading or doing next. So if we go over and look at our classes, now it has assigned all of them, and we can lock and unlock any of these that we want. So we can go ahead and set up for a quarter, but if I don't want them to read it yet, then I can schedule it for locking. or if I want them to have read it by a certain date, I can do that. So you can schedule the locking and the unlocking. So if I want to schedule the unlocking and I don't want them to read it until the 9th, and then unlock, and I give them 2 weeks to read it. And then until the 9th, it is locked. So it won't unlock until then. And that's when the assignment would be started. All right. The next thing I want to show you are the My Imports. So this is a feature I just discovered. I really like it. So let's say you have text questions or you have former short stories that you like doing and they're not on the site, but you want to add it to a unit, you can go ahead and do that. So just click on Add Content. And the nice thing about this is once you add it, the kids can annotate on it. So I'm going to take something from my Google Drive. I have The Flowers by Alice Walker. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And then the content type is literature, and go ahead and add text. And so now I can go in and I can add directions for students. I can add the extra help summary. I can add pre-reading questions. Just like in everything else, I can come down here. I can insert a question, insert a note, link, or white something out if I want to. So maybe I only want them to read certain paragraphs and closely read those. And then I can add questions to the end of text. The other thing that's nice about this, so I'm going to add one more text or add some more content to that. So that was the short story itself. Now I have questions that I like to go with it. Maybe I want them to do end of reading questions. So I have this called the Flowers Questions. I go ahead and add that. Oops, sorry. And you could add whoever wrote the questions or whoever wrote the story. And then add that as well. And then the nice thing about this is I can merge these two documents. So I click on Merge Assignment. I click on this one and Merge Assignment. And then I come up here where it says Next. And I merge them. Oh, Flowers. Just merge them. And now I have the two assignments together. So first I have the text, and then I have the questions that I had previously whenever I would do this on paper. And so that is also a nice feature. And then you can ask questions. When it's in student mode, the students can highlight sections, and then out here it will let them annotate, and you can see their annotations. So if you want to grade on annotations, that's great because you can go in and see that. All right, so that is just a basic overview of Actively Learn. I think it is a great website. It's one that the district is paying for right now. I think it's great for online learning. It teaches the kids to read deeply. It teaches them and digitally, which they're having a hard time with. And if you need help, please just let me know, and I will be more than happy to help you set this up and get it started and introduce it to your classes. So thank you.